this is phase 1 of the report. So the final report will be released after about 15 days or so. So Varun, will you please come up quickly and make a quick presentation on your findings, right? We are in a bit of a hurry. So we will immediately after this also release a white paper on sensors, but that will be presented only post-lunch by Mr. Sudhir Narayan of Bain and Company. But it will just be, it will be released right now because we have, a bigger audience right now. Sir, we also request all the dignitaries to please stay so that this can continue. Okay, Varun, please.
Yeah.
Findings from the report, so they will be interesting. It's only about 3-4 minutes.
Yeah.
So you have a quick
Thank
run.
you. Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Varun Gupta. I'm Principal Analyst with Counterpoint Research, and we've developed this report with the surveillance ecosystem partners as well as ELCINA. So I'm quickly going to take you through the first phase, what we have done, what we have found it so far. So this is what we are covering in the first phase, where we have the market overview, how big is the market and where the market is heading towards with the forecast. And we have the supply chain evolution. So everyone knows that we have had the STQC regulations that have come up in the market. So how it has impacted the overall ecosystem, how the supply chain has evolved. So we have tried to cover that briefly in the first phase of the report. And then we have also done a brief semiconductor analysis, like what all the components that are right now going into the IP camera system and what it will be like in the next 3 to 4 years with the evolution of AI-based use cases. So this is what we have seen, 4 things that are defining the market right now in FY 2026 and 2027 is that the market is expanding rapidly. When we see the demand, so many public infrastructure projects, highways and transportation projects are in pipeline by the government, and that requires a massive pipeline of IP cameras that are to be deployed in the near future. And what the STQC has done, it has provided a regulatory reset. It has provided the Indian players a fair chance in the market to come up and have a better market share in the market. And what we are also seeing a strategic shift in the deployment of different types of cameras. So analog is reducing and IP-based use cases are increasing. When we see that AI over IP is coming on, so the use cases will be done on the IP cameras and not on the analog cameras. So analog is a technology of the past. Now we see that the market is heading very fast towards the IP cameras. In an FY 2029, we see that it's going to majorly be IP cameras in all of the channels, apart from some of the use cases like residential, where there could be still some analog demand. And in terms of applications, so we see the largest demand is coming towards from infrastructure, transportation, railway projects, public infrastructure like the government are putting for the city infrastructure. So we see, for example, recently Bengaluru has released a fund of about 500 crores to deploy massive IP cameras for city-based surveillance. Similarly, Delhi government has also announced that they are going to replace the legacy camera systems. About 1.5 lakh cameras are to be replaced over there. And all of these cameras will now have the next-gen technology with AI-based use cases. So this is what we've seen in terms of the immediate and structural impact. So the immediate impact has been that some supply and inventory gaps started when the regulations came into effect last year in April 2025. And for the first 3 months, there was a brief supply gap. And then we have also seen that after talking to a lot of stakeholders in the market, that there has been an increase of about 15 to 20% on the over the BOM cost because of the supply chain realignment as well as the design that they have to do now in India. And what we see in the next 4 to 5 years is that non-compliance brand will have to exit the market. Right now, they could probably play into the analog market, but that is shrinking very fast. And the localization efforts are also improving. We see brands like Sparsh and CP Plus, they are putting in a lot of effort into localizing every bit of the camera component that they are trying to put into the IP camera system. And the semiconductor sourcing, so right now it still remains foreign, but I would like to mention that there are companies in India which are creating the design of SOCs in India, for example, Netra Semi, Big Indian Semiconductor, Mindgrove Technologies. So we expect in the next 2 to 3 years that these companies will step up and we'll see indigenous chipset-based cameras in near future in India. What we are going to cover in the phase 2 will be more a deep dive on the regulatory and compliance and the key challenges that the industry is facing right now, as well as the localization, what levels of localization is happening right now, as well as what we expect in the next 3 to 4 years, as well as the policy recommendation to help the industry to overcome the challenges they are facing right now. And we are also going to add 2 more categories, access control system and intrusion detection system. Though right now they're not part of the STQC regulations, but we feel that it combined with the IP camera system, it makes a wholesome security ecosystem. So we have to look all the different products that are available into market and bring them into the fold of the STQC regulation. Thank you.